Okay, so the code was 273. Oh, hello. I wasn't sure if I would ever escape that iron crypt. Is, the stoat around? The stunted wolf? This madness must end. Put that away. You were stopped along the way by a trapper looking to liquidate his pelts. There was something uncanny about his appearance, but you were quickly distracted by his wares. Care to look at me pelts? Take a pelt free of charge. See the quality? You're leaving already? Please consider me pelts. Fine, I'll grab the one for 4. Thank you for your business. The man assured you of the value of his pelts. They appear to be useless in a fight, but he mentioned that the trader further down the path would reward you for them. Okay, so in our deck right now is actually a rabbit pelt that can take 1 hit and a wolf pelt that can take 2, which, if you're keeping track, is basically the health of a rabbit that we're eventually going to get the card that produces rabbits and a wolf. That's basically their health, but no attack, which, you know, is fine. But you'll notice that there was actually a sigil beneath them, that little dagger. It means that you can't sacrifice these. Let's boost one of our cards. A group of starving survivors stood around a dying campfire. There was room for a creature around the fire, one said. The warmth will enhance its health, said another. One of the survivors said nothing at all, but couldn't stop licking their lips. No way. Oh! The health of the stink bug was enhanced by the warmth. As one of the survivors began pulling a knife out of their pocket, you withdrew. The stink bug having more health is actually very useful, considering its ability is to reduce the health of whatever is coming towards them. So them being sort of a tanky character is actually beneficial. You again? Indeed. Our friend freed me. Well, I basically told them how to do it. You got a plan? We have another friend here. You've got to be... I wouldn't call him a friend. But I suppose we are in deep this time. Okay. Let's just get this started. Oh. That's not good. That's even less good. Oh, right. Back in the game. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure. Don't worry about it. It's okay, Stoat. You're basically fodder to be sacrificed because you just always come back to my hand, which is always useful. What do you mean bad play? There's nothing to like Never mind. You encounter a small outpost in the woods tended by a mysterious woman. It was the traitor that old trapper had mentioned. Her appearance was unsettling, but you were mollified by her offerings. Do you mind if I examine those pelts of yours? Let's start with the hair pelts. Here's what I can offer. I could trade any of these. Take your time. So, I think the best thing for our deck right now, I would have grabbed the Black Goat, since it's actually a pretty useful card, but we actually don't have anything that needs 3. I mean, it would be nice to get sacrifice fodder, but I think us and I would grab the Rat King, but we actually don't really need something that will give us 4 bones. Worthy Sacrifice counts as 3 blood when we sacrifice the Black Goat, so the other sigils we have here is the Beehive, which, once a card bearing the sigil is struck, a bee is created in your hand. A bee is defined as a 1 power, 1 health airborne insect. The Mole's ability is that when an empty space would be struck, a card bearing the Burrower sigil will move to that space to receive the strike instead. It's basically a very defensive card. And an Elk has Sprinter. At the end of the owner's turn, a card bearing the sigil will move in the direction inscribed in the sigil. To me, the only good call right here is actually the Elk, because we already have 1 wolf and a wolf cub. So right now, we have a lot of firepower when it comes to that, but we don't have a lot of defensive ability, which is what the Elk provides. Oh, wolf pelts too. Exquisite. So, the benefit of having the wolf pelt instead of the hare pelt is that you will get a card, but that card will now have a sigil on it. If we were to get the 1 step up from that, which is sheep pelt, it will be a rare card with it. So, a beaver that costs 2 that can be infinitely sacrificed might sound good, but what the beaver does is, when a card bearing the sigil is played, a dam is created on each empty adjacent space. A dam is defined as a 0 power, 2 health obstacle. Not really that useful. We have an alpha that we saw earlier that has the ability of leader, that the cards adjacent gain 1 power. That will then evolve next turn. That is super tempting. In a possum that will deal damage when struck, and a cat that, if we put it in front of a 1 damaging creature, it will not be able to kill the cat. Having something that has the many lives sigil is relatively worth it, but the alpha with fledgling is actually a little bit too good to pass up, to be honest. These pelts are most excellent, my thanks. When something already has a patch onto it, it can't be used when it comes to the sacrificial altar. So what would be up there is the bullfrog, the wolf cub, the stink bug, and the elk. Maybe to put fledgling on the opossum, but I don't know. I just not feeling it. So let's go to the campfire instead. Do I throw the stink bug on it again? I actually want to throw the alpha onto there to give it a little bit more of a health boost. Survivors were right about the fire. They had enhanced the creature's health. Spotting a few of the survivors drooling, you made a hasty retreat with your alpha. My boss battles are high-stakes tests of your aptitude. With 1 flame, you will either overcome them or die. Fear not, I will let you keep the smoke. The incessant clank, clank, clanking reverberated between your ears. The path ahead was blocked by a grotesque figure. 'Twas the prospector. So strange. Why can't I remember his name? I believe I lost some of my memory in the flash. Okay, so what the smoke does is that it is a squirrel that can be thrown out there that is worth 4 bones. Which, to be fair, is actually pretty good. So, let's throw the smoke down. Gonna use that, so many bones, to place the wolf cub. Since the coyote is gonna come out, it's actually gonna stop the mule from moving. So what I'm gonna do is I have enough to place the alpha, but I'm gonna do that next turn. I'm going to just attack with the wolf cub. There we go. I'm going to place the squirrel there. Bullfrog. Then I'm going to place the stink bug right there. The next turn is going to move over. And the stink bug will hit the pack mule, opening it up. A dagnabbit, my mule. Hope you didn't think it would be that easy. There's gold in them cards. I've struck gold. So, what happens is that for every card that's down there, including terrain, he will turn into a gold nugget. I then have to wait for his creatures with 2 health to take one of them out. I have 5 plus 2, so that's 7. I'll be able to place an alpha the second something is defeated. I could also place the Rattler, actually. Get him. Yeah, I'm gonna place the Opossum right there. And the Rattler right there. Prospector boss. Again. Okay. Don't get ahead of yourself. I can only place something for 2. Yeah, squirrel. Wolf instead of the opossum. And we don't have... Oh, you do have 4. There we go. And then we're gonna give +1 to the Rattler, so that's 7. So that's 6 of overkill. Allow me to light your candles once more. I won't be killing you quite yet. You're the first in a while to overcome a boss. As a reward, you're granted an opportunity to select a rare card. Choose carefully. I have no words for this freak of nature. The Long Elk is a great card. I love it. It does Touch of Death, so anything it touches will die, regardless of how much damage it does, and it will move after the end of the turn. The further away uh, from the bell it gets, it has a secret ability that the furthest away it is, the more damage it does. So, well, no, when it gets to the head, which is all the way on the other side, it will do more damage, I believe, or aesthetically it just has the head. I can't remember. The level of brutish strength needs no explanation. The Uriuli, I can't exactly remember what it's based on, but it's basically a Sasquatch. It does 7 damage, and it takes 7 damage. But for 4, you basically have to build your deck around just getting this guy. The Prudent Pack Rat. Never doubt the utility of a well-stocked pack. It has the ability of Trinket Bearer, which, when the card is played, you will receive a random item along with your pack, as long as your pack is not already full. So, to me, since we're already kind of building towards it, I'm actually going to grab Long Elk. With the sound of the Prospector's pickaxe still ringing in your ears, you carried onwards. The rank smell of rot and mold permeated the humid air. Every step forward was answered by some nearby slip or slither. You tread cautiously into the wetlands. Okay. So, over here is the skull that he's been using for the boss battles. Every once in a while I have some teeth inside of it. That leaves us with 11 foil to use. I think I'll utilize those next run. The fervid mantis. Praying claws strike both left and right. So, the benefit of the mantis is that it will do twice as much damage using bifurcated strike, but the only downside is that it won't attack straight onwards, which makes it incredibly vulnerable, so you actually want to place it onto something with a lot of health. But for its sigil, it's actually really useful. Black goat in a bottle. Its bleeding yields 3 blood if you could ignore the bleating. A powerful item. Turn this and I'll skip my next turn. Squirrel. I should have grabbed the black goat. Whatever. And then more bones. Look, there's a third talking card somewhere around here. Personally, I hate the guy. Biggest killjoy ever. But he's the only one of us with a plan to get things back to normal. Kingfishers. Not only are they flying, meaning that their attack hits directly, they're waterborne, meaning that during their turn, I will attack over them. So, kind of annoying to deal with. The only real way to deal with this guy is to have something that will both block their attack but also do damage them while blocking their attack. Is something like a bullfrog that I gave quills to. Oh, I like how he's looking down at the spider. I don't think I've ever noticed that. I'm gonna allow for a turn to go through first. Gonna draw elk. Gonna place the alpha here. That way the Grand Fur will actually do 1 damage as well. Oh, that's awesome. I actually never knew what the Alpha transformed into. So Alpha has transformed into Omega. That's neat. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna hold off for one more turn. Oh, I guess it didn't matter. How about the trappers here? I should have probably tried to grab more foil. First and's free. So we get at least one rabbit pelt. And then we could grab as high of a pelt as possible and then move down the list. So we could grab a golden pelt. Then we have enough for another rabbit pelt. Okay. Much appreciated. Here's something you probably didn't know. So, you can actually imbue the pelts with sigils. The reason to do that is for if you have something like block and you wanted to put it on the golden pelt, which has more health than the other pelts. But I personally, I think I would rather want to put Mantis's ability onto onto the long elk because it does that instant kill damage. That way it potentially can kill two things in one go. That wardrobe. He almost put me in there. The top left drawer. But the puzzle was too easy. Interesting note. Ah, yeah, that was a total misplay. How disappointing. But on the bright side, we can actually get rid of the pelts that we have. Hair pelts. What do we want to use? I think what we want is, we're gonna want... Oh, this is the first time seeing the Raven. How about this? I'm gonna want to grab... the Grizzly. And probably the Raven. Is that a golden pelt? Magnificent. Gek? The Uriuli and Packrat, or the Strange Larva, has the fledgling symbol, but the Strange Larva specifically transforms twice. So we need to keep it safe for 3 turns for it to do maximum damage. Gek is very fascinating because he's basically a squirrel that does 1 damage, and we could pull him out of the main deck. As I said, because he has 0, he's going to potentially be drawn on the first turn every time, but the Strange Larva is just way too good of a card. Let's... Black Goat. If you deem it necessary, you can cut up one of my cards with these. And then bows. Okay, cool. It's basically what I wanted anyway. That's way too much damage. Oh well. Alas, it is time for you to perish. Stay there. There's no need to move. I'm afraid you are not dead yet. Hold still. Where did I put that camera of mine? Pathetic. Do you really think I would leave film in there? Do you have any idea what that camera is capable of? Give me that. We have a memento to create. Behold your death card. Shall we begin to ink it? Pull the cost. 2 bone. Power and health. Let's grab the wolf. Now choose a card from which we will extract the sigils. Interesting. I'm going to grab the strange larva's sigil of fledgling. One thing remains now. I must capture a visage. Say cheese. I had such high hopes for that last one. Why do I bother trying to teach you? You will learn as we go, or you will die. It seems the lowly stink bug has made its way in. But it is dealt, so it stands. Stoat's looking a little rectangular nowadays. As you'll notice, the stink bug and Stoat have started to slowly shift their art style a little bit. So, before we get up, before we do anything else, we need to find a ringworm this run. Okay. Smoke. Some extra teeth. Okay, let's do this puzzle first. So the way that these work is that you have to align things up so it does 5 damage. I forgot I had put that in there. Very well, I may add it to your deck. I'll do you one every so often. So the skink has a fascinating ability. Let me just go up here. When a card bearing the sigil would be struck, a tail is created in its place, and a card bearing the sigil moves to the right. So basically, it is a one-time use get out of jail free card. As we can see from here, what's going to happen is that if this is a card, it's going to hit the skink and it's going to move it sideways, and then our damage will be nullified by the tail that it's dropped. We can't move the skink, so it's actually best to just do this. That way we do 1 damage, we miss the tail activating, and then we do 3, 2, so that's 5. Formidable creatures, those ants. Very well, I'll add them to your deck and make them available for future challenges. For future challengers. Okay. So, ants. Variable stats 1. The value represented with this sigil will be equal to the number of ants that the owner has on their side of the table. So if we had 2 worker ants and an ant queen, it means that all 3 of them would have 3 damage. That's basically how that works. And the ant queen, when it is played, an ant is created in your hand. So we could potentially have 3 out at the same time. If you are building for an insect deck, it's actually pretty good. So, on this challenge, now we have to tails and ants. And since that's blocked now, it will do 3. There we go. Curious. So a caged wolf card. Much like the pelts, you can't sacrifice it, but you play it for 2, and it is twice the health of a normal... Oh, 3 times the health of a normal wolf. We're going to have a quick way to get rid of that in a bit, but first let's do the final challenge, which is a bifurcated sigil and a damaging sigil. Okay, we can't move the bifurcated sigil here, and we can't move the skink right there. So this will hit this. It will do 1 damage to it, meaning that this one will move over, and then it's 1, 2, 3, so 5. Yeah, there we go. Without having met her, this wood carving is meaningless. In time you'll understand its power. So, as he said, all of the things that we just unlocked here will now be used on future runs, and we have to look out for the ringworm. No, you may not choose a specific beast. Instead, you must now decide a tribe that you prefer. Canine, avian, or reptilian. We can't get an insect. I was trying to re-roll it so that we can try to see if we can get a insect to maybe getting the ringworm. But I guess if we have to pick one, I will grab the canine in hopes that we get an alpha. Yeah, there we go. Alpha is like one of my favorite cards in this game. An ancient woman emerged from behind an oak tree. She carefully laid out intricate wood carvings, then gestured at them brusquely. Choose. So, we have the sigil for, that will do damage to them if they get hit. The airborne sigil, meaning that they will attack over, and the stinky sigil, meaning that they will take 1 less damage. We're going to pick the stinky sigil, and now all of our squirrels will have 1 damage less be done to them. The old woman bared her teeth in satisfaction. Your first totem was complete. The stinky sigil will now be marked upon all your squirrel creatures. To remind you of what totems do. Okay, so we got the worker ant and we got the wolf. Gonna place both of those. So we could place the wolf there. It's gonna instantly kill the wolf cub when it comes down. So that's 3 so far. Yeah, I probably should have grabbed the squirrel. Oh well. So, deer. There are several things that will count as a deer, but it's mostly just things with antlers. Still no insect. I guess we can hopefully pull an elk fawn. Yeah, there we go. The nascent fawn. It quickly grows into an elk. That way we have the fledgling symbol on it. The bones of the ancient woman creaked and groaned as she approached. With gently shaking hands, she placed her offerings before you. So, flying defense or flying itself. I'm gonna get flying defense and then still keep the stinky sigil. The The old woman collected her pieces and shuffled off into the darkness.